You are listening to the Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast with me, Laura Conley, episode number 216. Hey guys, Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be here with you guys and with my really special guest, which I'll introduce her to you in a moment. But if you know that this is your year, if you know that you are made for more, then I want you to go to lauraconley.com and book a call, because our cohort, the next Yummy Mummy experience, where we lose weight for the last time guaranteed, is starting on January 21st. So go book a call so that you can ask me any questions. We can see if the Yummy Mummy experience is right for you, and we can lose weight for the last time and really whatever that means for you. So I absolutely love my guest, Sarah Crystal. She is back to the pod because we are doing a whole series on permanent weight loss, on losing weight for the last time, like for real. So welcome to the podcast, Sarah. Give us a little introduction on who you are, what you're about, and how much weight you've lost and how long you've kept it off.
Hi, Laura. Thank you for having me. Okay, so I'm Sarah. I did Yummy Mummy in August of 2023. So that was my cohort. And then I actually joined Masters right after. So I've been in Yummy Mummy now coming up on a year and a half. And in my experience, I lost 30 pounds. And I actually lost those last couple pounds that got me down to 30 pretty much around now, like within the next 10 days, because I remember I was on vacation in Mexico when I lost those last few pounds.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy. Yeah, totally. And so I've kept them off. It'll be pretty much a year, the end of this December.
That's so awesome. Yeah. So by the time you guys tune in, unless Sarah goes bananas over the holidays, but she's not going to because she has all the tools and all the whys.
No need.
No need. Okay. I actually want to talk about that vacation because I feel like that sounds so unbelievable. Like you lost your last couple pounds on vacation. Like just talk to us about what that was like. And was it a win-lose? Was it a compromise? Because I think that's what so many people think. Like, okay, yeah, I guess I could lose weight on vacation, but that vacation would totally suck. And what would even be the point? So if you could speak to that.
It was a really awesome learning experience and then kind of like a confidence boost for me, because prior to that, I mean, my entire life, vacation was like a weight gain guaranteed. Like I sort of always went into vacation really like hopeless almost because I knew that I was going to gain weight. I knew it. I knew I was going to be eating more like mindlessly, like grazing, going out for dinner and eating like richer food. So I just always, I think, had a lot of anticipatory stress around weight gain on vacation, but then also like this hopelessness that, well, that's just kind of the way that it is.
I bet you everyone can relate to that feeling. I know when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, yep, that was me. It was like constantly dreading fancy vacations.
And then also just not feeling good going into it because I am already not in a body that I'm super comfortable with or confident about. So that's a whole piece too, right? Like trying on clothes before or knowing I'm going to be in a bathing suit and just kind of dreading all that. So just so many layers around that going into vacation previously. And so this year going into vacation, I mean, I was already, I don't even know, 25 pounds lighter than I'd ever been. So going into it, I was already very confident, much more comfortable in my body. I'd had 5 months being in the program, being super dialed in, having a protocol that I liked, knowing what skills I needed to use to maintain that and to feel really good going in. And so that's really what it was. Instead of going on vacation and being like, fuck it, here I go, eating everything, indulging, hedonism, here I come. I just didn't have that mindset. I had the mindset of like, I'm doing really well. I'm so proud of myself. I like how this feels. And this is just what I'm going to keep doing while I'm on vacation because I want to feel this way every day. And I want to come back feeling as good as I've been feeling. So I really just did what I had been doing every single day on vacation. I followed my protocol. I worked out in ways that I like. I journaled every single day. I was present with my kids. I enjoyed all the meals that we had, but I did it in the way that worked for me. And it really was, honestly, it was easy. Like it just took a lot of mental drama that had always been there out of the equation. And I got to feel good every day. I got to wear a bikini and my clothes and just, oh, feel light and breezy and proud of myself and
That's
accountable
so
to
awesome.
myself. Yeah, it really was not hard. I'm not saying that it was not work, right? But
Yeah.
it's like I'm accustomed to that now. That's how I live my life now. And to me, like discipline and work isn't bad, even if it's
Mm,
hard.
yeah,
So
totally.
yeah, it just was, oh, it felt so good.
Yeah, what you're describing like just sounds so freeing. And I love how you use the word breezy because I
Mm.
think people think, oh, losing weight on vacation. Okay, yeah, but like, so then what? I'm gonna be depriving myself left and right. And when you were talking, I was like, this sounds deprivation free. This does not sound deprivation inducing.
No, it's not. But also, that's a mindset shift, right? So that was a big thing for me. You could go into it and say it's deprivation. Like somebody with a different mindset might have looked at me and been like, oh God, she's not eating those bread rolls at dinner. Oh, that's such, she's depriving herself.
Mm,
But that's not my mindset. That's not how I feel about it. That's not how I think about it. It just doesn't bother me. Like that is not for me.
mm,
I don't need it. I didn't care. I still don't care.
yeah.
If I want it, I can have it. It's a
Mhm.
choice, right?
Yeah.
So it just was not, it wasn't deprivation. It's still nothing I do feels like deprivation. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have things and other people might look at that as deprivation, but that's not how I see it. So that's
Totally.
how it feels.
Well, I just want to celebrate you for doing what most people can't do, which is lose weight and keep it off. Like that
Mhm.
is just so awesome. And like
Mhm.
just totally want to congratulate you because it's amazing. So tell us like how you did that, how you do that. Like if you're at a party or you're chatting with somebody, like what is your answer on like how you lost 30 pounds and then kept it off for a year?
I know people want to know
Yeah.
like the answer, like the one thing, right?
Yes.
And it's not the one thing. It's a
Yes.
practice of things that I do all the time. So it's all these habits and things that I learned in YMX and then that I just keep doing all the time, every day. So it is journaling. I will have to say that's probably the biggest thing. It's a huge shift that I made in the program and then have continued to do. Like, truly, I don't think in a year and a half there's been a day where I didn't. I usually do a morning and an evening download, which is what we do in the program. Maybe there's been a couple of mornings where I haven't done one or the other, but really there's been like a handful of those, but I always do some kind of journaling. So I think it's just that sort of disciplined check in with myself that I just do every single day. And that involves just weighing myself, which I used to like avoid the scale like the plague. So just weighing myself, knowing where I am. What do I want to think about that? Like, what's my plan for the day in terms of like how I want to feel or other elements in my
Yeah.
day? Maybe they're related to food, maybe they're not. I've become much more intentional and I don't know what the right word is, like preemptive, I guess, about how I want to eat and what I want to eat. I think that's a big way that I've maintained this and
Mm,
just kept my weight loss for so long. It's just kind of the fabric of my life now. Like I meal
yes.
prep, even my lunches, I just know ahead of time, like making beautiful salads, what I want to eat for lunch. I
Mm,
take a lot of that sort of guesswork out of it,
mm,
or that what used to happen a lot, which I think happens to a lot of people, where suddenly it's 12 o'clock or time for lunch and you're hungry and you haven't thought of anything and you don't know what you're going to have. So you're like opening your fridge, your pantry, and you're eating random crap before you even have the lunch. And it's like this whole thing.
yeah.
So just a lot of pre planning around just food that I want to eat that's nourishing, that
Yeah.
makes me feel good, and kind of taking that guesswork.
Yeah. It's like
Um,
you take the decision out of it.
yes.
And our
Yes.
brains are really bad at making decisions in the moment and when we want to lose weight. Like they just
Mm-hmm.
are. So
Mm-hmm.
decision ahead of time. And that also just it alleviates so much decision fatigue. I think as moms and
Mm-hmm.
women, we're going through the
Mm-hmm.
day making so many decisions and like juggling so much. So like doing it ahead of time, when you're talking, I could see some of the audience interpreting it as like, wow, that sounds like a lot of time, but you actually end up getting so much time back. And I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if like, well, she's nodding, so I'm guessing she she agrees with me. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you could speak to that too, because I do. well, at least like my dieting days, I used to have this like belief that, okay, well, if I really want to weigh what I want to weigh, like that's going to mean that I'm going to have to take the entire day on Sunday to meal prep and put all these things in Tupperwares. And like for me, the meal prep is like, no, it's just taco night and we make triple because I'll have taco night for lunch for the next couple days or one day at least.
Yeah, I don't think, so here's the thing. I think it's work however you do it, right? It's either free work or it's like in the moment and cleanup work. And I personally would rather do the pre-work than like the emotional slog in the moment work and then the, oh, fuck, let me clean up this mess work, right? Like, or scramble work afterwards. That just feels better for me.
That's so well said. Yes.
Yeah, it just feels so much cleaner. Like I do this with parents too. I'm like, it's hard either way. Do you want to set up your day and have good routines and preempt the tantrum and the meltdown and the this? Or do you want to be in the mix of the tantrum and the meltdown and the whatever insanity is happening and deal with it then? Like you're going to do something. It just depends on when you want to do it and how challenging you want it to be. So that's kind of how I think about it with the prepping and the food stuff too. Like I have to do it either way, but I like doing it before when I'm not stressed. I haven't already had to make like a million decisions of the day and it's the end of the day. And now I'm trying to think of food and dinner.
Yeah.
Like and I build it into my routine. I think that's the other thing. Like all of these habits and things now are they're built into my day. They're built into my planner. Like it really doesn't even take me that long. It just happens. Like I know on a Monday, okay, on Monday, I will spend 25 minutes making salads.
Yeah.
And like, that's fine. I listen to a podcast and it's like not a big deal.
It's enjoyable. Like
it's enjoyable. Like it's so okay versus like being stressed out in the middle of the day because I'm seeing patient and then I'm hungry and I don't know what to do and not, it's like a whole thing.
Oh, I love that. Oh, it's so good. Okay. I have two things I wanted to say. Number one, I'm always like, you guys, when people ask you how you lost the weight, just send them to the podcast. Do not answer them because most people don't answer the question like you do. Most people are like, well, I don't have sugar. I don't eat sugar anymore. And I'm like, okay, that is part of it. It's part of it. But it's like the way you just described it is exactly right because it's holistic and it's root work and it's built into the fabric and it's a daily practice. It's like, if you want to, like, I think that we've been misguided. Like, I think somehow we got this belief that like we should get to weigh what we want and we should get to have like the health that we want and the longevity that we want without putting in any work. Right. And it's like, no, it actually does take intentionality. It actually does take focus. It does take putting it in your calendar. I was talking about this with my husband because I just noticed like some people in our lives don't have the marriages that they want. And I'm like, why do you think we have the marriage that we have? Like, why do you think we have a marriage that we want? And it's like, yeah, because we work at it. Like we schedule it. Like we plan it. Like, and I think that's true for like everything. And this gives you the framework for that.
I agree with that 100%.
That's so cool. Okay. So also you guys, I do want to highlight like, so some of my clients like Sarah, they like to meal prep. It's fun. They have the cute Tupperwares like Sarah has. Like they have the cute mugs and the cute smoothie bottles. And they put on a podcast. And then some of my clients that would be more like me, like I don't really like to meal prep. Like I don't want to spend 25 minutes on a Monday. But what I do like to do is have my Instacart cart ready to go at any time. So within like an hour, something can be at my door or my fridge is stocked so that I know I can have like turkey roll-ups and berries and like a side weird salad, right? Or I know that like I said, when we have taco night, I'm just going to have triple. So there's different ways to do it. So if the meal prep turns you off, then it's fine. There's ways around it. There's coaching for really any obstacle that comes up. And so some of you guys out there love to meal prep. Great. You can keep meal prepping. Some of you guys don't. No worries. We can figure out that too.
And I agree with that. Like I do the meal prep, but I'm the same too. Like I do have stock of stuff that if I didn't, like it's healthy, it's easy, it's stuff I want to eat, I could whip it up in 5 minutes. But again, that's a pre-plan, right? Like there's intentionality. I think that's the bottom line. Like if you want this, really like any realm of your life. If you want it to go well and smooth and not be a stressor, it just takes some pre-planning. So I
Yes.
think that's something people do really have to wrap their mind around and do like a little mindset shifting around that just sets us up for success better. It's just, you kind of can't get around that.
Yeah, if you're not a planner, there may be like some resentment that comes up, or you may
Mm-hmm,
have to
mm-hmm,
mourn the loss of your
mm-hmm,
old life or the old way of
mm-hmm,
being.
mm-hmm,
And because that's why you don't weigh what you want, is because you
mm-hmm,
just haven't planned.
mm-hmm,
You haven't planned
mm-hmm,
appropriately. And that was,
mm-hmm,
again, the same conversation that I was having with my husband, too. It's like, and I keep thinking about this. I said this at the retreat too, even though it sounds kind of like obnoxious to say out loud. But the reason I say it is because if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. And it's like, I really do genuinely, and I think you too, Sarah, like, I do genuinely love my life. Like, I genuinely wake up excited for the day. I hit my head on the pillow at night feeling so grateful. Most days, I just really love my life and all of the areas in it. And again, goes back to, yeah, because it has a time slot. Like, my
mm-hmm,
therapist, my parenting therapist has a time slot on the calendar. My money guy has a time on the calendar. My date night is on the calendar. My dates with my kids are literally on, everything is on the freaking calendar. And if
mm-hmm.
that's like a turnoff for you, I would just encourage you to look at like, okay, maybe your old way isn't working. Could you just be willing to try a new way? You can always go back to the old way of not planning.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, anyways, I love this conversation. This is the best conversation ever. One thing I'm curious about is, why do you think that the Yummy Mummy experience, the YMX, this methodology is different? It's unique. Like, why is it unlike so many of the other weight loss programs out there?
Okay, so the short answer, I guess, is that this program uses, like, I'm going to just go my clinical realm for two
Yep.
seconds. Like, it
Please do. I
uses
love
an,
it.
yeah, yeah. It uses this evidence-based methodology to actually change the way that you think, that will help you change the way that you feel, that will help you change actions related to eating food. And this is a proven method that we use in all kinds of behavior change. If you want to change any single behavior in your life, you have to use this model of thinking, right? And most weight loss programs are really, I don't know other weight loss programs that do this, that help you shift how you think about food, how you relate to food, actually physically taking food and putting it in your mouth by going back and understanding the connection between your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. So it really like shifts your entire internal process around food, around eating, I mean, around everything, because this is just like such powerful work. So once you start to do this and once you start to understand it, your behavior and your actions around food and around eating are just so different. And it's such a more lasting, deep level of change that's really not about don't eat flour, don't eat sugar, or any of that. It could be, it's just it's a much bigger, much deeper process around why am I eating this? What is this food doing for me? Do I like that? How do I shift that if I don't like that? It's a lot deeper and therefore a lot more effective.
Yeah, totally. It's like, it really is root work. And
Mhm.
you guys, Sarah's like a very fancy psychologist. She's gonna laugh, but she's a doctor, so we should trust her.
I
Okay,
know what I'm talking about, guys.
she does. She's like, oh, you're teaching this thing that's called impression management. I'm like, oh, I like that there's like a name for this workshop that I'm teaching you guys. Apparently, I forgot my entire degree. I got a degree in psychology too, and I swear to God, I forgot all of it. But talk to us a little bit about your career moves and what you were up to career wise, and whether or not that would have been possible for you without doing this work first.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, this is such a big topic. But yes, so I am a clinical psychologist. I've been practicing doing things in this world for many, many years. And Before YMX, I think there was a lot of different pieces going on, but I was a little bit lost and just not sure kind of what direction I wanted to go, like where my true passion was within the field. I had done so many different things and kind of continued to be like really fragmented and fractured in what I was doing. And I think, also I just had a lot of mental chatter around not feeling good about myself, my body, all this other stuff that was taking up space that was making it hard then for me to really give meaningfully to my career and think meaningfully about it. So I think doing YMX and really solving the self image, losing all the weight, kind of getting rid of that mental chatter and clearing all of that up created all of this space for me to then dream and think about other things, right? It's like if I don't have to worry about losing weight and I feel super good and comfortable in my body, like what next, And I think also just our process, we're really tapping into like discipline and like what does light us up, right? Because we're thinking about that even in terms of food, right? Like, what are my true pleasures? What other things do I like? So I'm not just like eating emotionally and compulsively, right?
Yeah.
And so once I had thought about all those things, right, it's like, oh, I can think about this and apply this to my career and like what I want to do and how I can do it. And also, I think I had never done coaching before and like been in this world. And clinically, things are very different in terms of how we deliver services and intervention. So I think both going through this program and being like, wow, this is a really cool, interesting way to like work with people. And you can do really deep, intense, meaningful work in this kind of a container, in this setting. So that was like aha one for me. And then just really like clearing all this space so that I could think and I could dream and I could just feel confident with myself and have the clarity to go forward and develop something that I was really passionate about, or even have space and time to think about what that was. And so that kind of took me back to my roots. My training's all in child psychology. I've worked with parents for many, 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 many years and kids. And I was doing really like evidence-based parent intervention programs. And I loved it. I always wanted to do it. And so when I did this program and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a cool way to deliver services. And then I had all this mental space to dream and be like, what do I really want to do? What's meaningful for me? It was like, I want to go back to that. I want to take everything that I know, everything that I've done, make it even more robust and meaningful and kind of combine this, put it all together and create this really amazing parent coaching program and use this kind of model so that I can reach more people, take away so many barriers that exist in the clinical world when you're trying to see people, get people in, have wait lists. It's a whole freaking nightmare and so many barriers for parents. And I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to use my skills, use my expertise and serve parents in this way. And I just had all this kind of clarity and confidence around, I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly what I want to do. I can do whatever I want. I can make this the most amazing, comprehensive thing ever. And all this confidence that it was going to be awesome. And so that's kind of what I did. I just like took 6 months. I dreamed, I created this program using kind of YMX as the model of like, yes, it could be a group coaching program. Yes, it could be delivered virtually. Like, yes, we can do deep work, right? Like all these things I just didn't really think of as a psychologist when you're kind of siloed in a clinical world. And it's been really cool. Yeah.
And so tell us about your offer. Like, we have to know, like, because what if there's like a parent out there that wants to hire you? How can we find you?
Oh my gosh. Well, so you can find, you can go to my website. So my name's Sarah Crystal, SarahCrystal. So my website's Dr. Sarah Crystal, all one word.com. So you go there, you can kind of check out what I do. And I work with parents. I work with parents who are struggling, who have kids with big behaviors, challenging behaviors, extreme emotionality, all the things, and are just really struggling, don't know how to manage it, don't understand why, are feeling burned out. And I work with them for 6 months in a coaching capacity and in a group modality. And we really I kind of give them a big framework around like a lot of the mindset stuff that we also do learn in YMX, right? Like why it's important as a parent to sort of work on your own mindset and the stories you tell yourself and your own narrative and how that directly impacts your kid's behavior. Because I think that's a missing link a lot of people who work with parents don't go there. They don't focus on that. It's much more skills based, which is important too. So that's a huge piece, really, like understanding your mindset, understanding your regulation and how to regulate so you can then help your kid regulate.
Oh, yeah, because it's impossible to like do the skills, right? It's impossible to not eat sugar. It's impossible to like implement X strategy from X parent coach without the ability to regulate your emotions or without the ability to think thoughts that serve you. It's the same with dieting.
100%. 100%.
You can't do keto
You can, no.
if you can't regulate your emotions. And same with Yummy Mummy and same with parenting. And
Nope.
that is like such a gift that you're giving the world, because I can't think of like what moms want more or parents want more than like an awesome relationship with their kids. And I know a lot of moms and dads too really want to reverse some of the legacies or some of the things that they've inherited and not pass that down to their kids. So I think that's so cool. So go check her out, you guys, because I'm like, Sarah, don't build your business too much, because when the Yummy Mummy blows up, I'm going to need you inside there coaching. I'm totally kidding. Go blow her up, you guys. She's so awesome. I feel so like lucky that you're in our community, because you're just such a gift to our community as well. Can we talk about the plastic surgery story?
Yes. What about it?
Like, tell us a little bit about, you had your twins, you felt like your body was in shambles. Like, I want to hear that story, because I think that that is a story that almost all of us can relate to. And I think if we can see ourselves in you, it provides so much hope for the future, because it's like, oh, like she is me. Oh, she was me. Oh, maybe this is possible for me if this was possible for her.
Yeah. Okay. So I have 4 kids. I gave birth to my twins in 2020. And I'm sure you can imagine that my body was a bit of a mess. And I had also gained a lot of weight. I was pregnant with twins during COVID. I mean, we're talking like 100-pound plus weight gain. It was a lot. And so I had lost a good amount of that, but my body was really wrecked. Like, if it just very objectively, I had diastasis recti. I had a lot of loose skin. My boobs were like to my waist. It was a lot of things that there was only so much naturally I probably could have done about those things. So I lost as much weight as I thought I could. I thought I was within like a 10-pound range of whatever my baseline natural weight was. I had no idea what that was. So I dieted, restricted. It was really tough. Got myself down to this weight that I thought was in 10 pounds of my weight, had the plastic surgery, and felt really good initially. Like, I was really happy with the results. And then I just started gaining weight again. And, I mean, I didn't balloon all the way back to where I had been, but I gained 10 pounds and I felt out of control. And that's when I kind of realized, like, yes, plastic surgery fixed problems internally, right?
Yeah,
it sutured up my abdominal muscles that were totally split apart. It took away saggy skin, but it didn't solve anything related to why I was actually overweight to begin with and how to manage that. So I just wasn't continuing to yo-yo and feel this loss of control. I didn't know why I was gaining weight. That was the other thing. Like, I did, but I didn't. I would watch the scale go up and be like, I had surgery. Like, I'm supposed to be thin now. Like, why am I gaining weight? What am I doing? I just didn't. I was like, I can't eat fucking chicken breast every day like I had done when I tried to get down to my weight to have my surgery. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So it was really scary. I'd spent all this money. I'd gone under general anesthesia, which I'd never even had before. This is my first surgery I'd ever had. And I was like, this is supposed to have fixed it. They took it all off. I'm not supposed to gain weight. And that just wasn't the case. I was still deeply, like, I was happier. I was looking in the mirror and my boobs weren't touching the floor and my stomach wasn't draping over. Fine. Yes, I was happier. I was very thankful. I mean, I'm still every day super grateful for the surgery, but it just didn't go inside of me. It didn't kind of go below the surface and get at why I was gaining weight, first of all, like having a deep understanding and sense of control, not in a bad way, sense of just agency over why I'm gaining the weight and then what I would need to do to not gain the weight. And it didn't fix my body image. I was very critical of myself and not looking at myself with pride or any positive emotions. I was still looking at myself and I was unhappy and I was angry and I was scared because I just didn't know how to stop the scale from going up. I didn't know what behaviors I was doing and how to change them to stop that from happening. It was just a very interesting moment. I really just assumed that the surgery was going to fix every body issue that I ever had, make it, I don't know why I would think that, right? Like you're not going to gain weight after you have plastic surgery. Of course you're going to gain weight after you have plastic surgery if you eat
Oh
tons
no.
of
I
crap
mean,
all the time.
I think everybody thinks that. And I think it's like everybody wants that. It's kind of like you are describing like, it was kind of a Band-Aid. Like, yes, it fixed your like diastasis recti and that kind of stuff, but like it didn't fix all of it. And I think a lot of us, I think it's normal to want that. Like, yeah, like I want that too. I always want like a magic pill or a quick fix or whatever. And you're just so well spoken, so articulate, so eloquent. And I think what you're also like highlighting is probably what's going on for a lot of people when it comes to Ozempic and the GLP-1s. It's the same exact thing. And they can be helpful. Like your plastic surgery was very helpful, but it wasn't a cure-all. Like it was just one tool among the toolbox, and you need an entire toolbox if you really want to heal this at the root. Yeah.
100%. I would never, I mean, I would never look how I look now without the surgery. That's 100%. But I can revel in it so much more. And I'm so much more appreciative of it because of all the internal work that I've done. Part of me really wishes I had done YMX first and then got the surgery. I don't know like why that would have really made a difference, but just so I could have felt like I really like, I was I like the way that you say it's like coming from a dirty place. Like I got the surgery from a dirty place, like sort of messy negative thinking, right? Like, I'll fix my body. I'm damaged. I'm broken. I hate my body. Cut all this gross skin off me, right? It was very messy and negative and super self-critical. Whereas had I done this first, I still would have done the surgery. I know that. But I would have done it from a place of like, oh my God, I have done so much hard work. I'm a freaking boss. Like my body is so badass. And now I'm going to cut this skin off and like, we're going to see those abs and my boobs are going to be perkier, it just, I think would have felt very different to have done it in reverse. So that's just kind of interesting to think about.
No,
and I can recognize that.
Yeah, no, it's so well said because it's like, I think a lot of people think like, oh, if I want to change my body, that means I don't love my body. And that's not necessarily true. Like for a lot of us, it's like, no, I really actually love my body. I really appreciate it. And I want more. And like, that's okay. It doesn't have to be like one or the other. It can be both, right? It can be an area of your life. Really. It's like, okay, I have a great marriage and I want to upgrade it, or I really love my kids, but I want to level it up with Sarah's coaching.
And I think it's like you can accept where you're at then, right? I think beforehand I had sort of this idea in my brain, like I need to look like a supermodel to be happy. Like what I was comparing myself to and what I thought my ideal was that would make me happy is very different to now what I look like and that I'm happy. Like I feel really satisfied and happy in my body. I look at myself and I'm like, I'm done. I'm complete. I have lost the weight I want to lose, but I still have cellulite and I still have this. And I do not look like Giselle. You know what I mean?
But which is great because like we're all going to age. Like there's not enough surgeries and enough Botox to like age us backwards.
I didn't know I could be happy even with these imperfections or, like I thought I'll be happy when every single ounce of fat is off my body, but whatever it is. And now it's like, no, I'm done. I feel good. This is where I want to be. Like, this is how I feel good. And this is enough. And that is very empowering. That's very empowering. So.
Oh my God, that gives me the chills. That's so cool. Okay, so did you believe that this was possible? If Sarah in 2022 could hear this podcast right now, what would she say?
It would be like, what drug are you taking and what cult did you join? Which is like what we joke about. Like I have two sisters who I'm very close with, and one of them, you work with her, so she gets it now. But they were like, you're in a cult, right? I was like, yeah, but it's a good cult. So like,
yeah, like sign
whatever.
up, you guys.
Yeah, I was like, you're just jealous, actually. So
who cares? Like, if you get to wait, will you be happy? Like, are you mad you're in a cult?
No, they're jealous. They would admit that.
Oh my God, so funny. I love it. Okay, so what would you tell, we'll end on this note, like what would you tell the girl or the woman that is really struggling, that is in the shoes that you were in, that maybe feels like, I don't know if I could take that leap of faith. I don't know if I could spend that kind of money. I don't know. It feels risky. Nothing else has worked for me. Like, what would you tell somebody in the shoes that you were in not so long ago?
I mean, I told many women this, right? Like, I've actually gotten many friends, and not even friends, like sort of old acquaintances, people who just knew me. I've actually gotten them to join YMX through these conversations. And just, I mean, really, like, it's just telling them kind of my story that I think kind of moves people. But really, like, there is so much possibility and like change waiting for you that you can't even imagine it. Like, you just don't even know how good it is once you work through whatever it is that you need to work through to get to the other side. And also that it is a 100% guarantee that it will work and you will actually get to the other side if you do the work. Like, it's not like, oh, I don't know, maybe. Honestly, truly, deeply, I believe, I don't even believe, I know I really know that if you do this work, you will have the results that you want. Things will change. It's impossible not to change both your weight, both how you feel about yourself, lots of other areas of your life if you do this work. It's just impossible. So you don't even have to believe. You just have to be a little bit curious and willing to do work. That's it. You just even have to be willing to do the work, even if you don't believe, because it will just happen for you. It really will. Like, it's proven.
It's so good. What if someone's, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, we're going to clip it. We're going to take this clip right here and we're just going to throw that on Instagram. You're going to be like our new, I don't know, sales hire.
It's proven.
It's proven. Yes. Okay.
No, but it is.
No, I mean, it is. You guys, she's a doctor.
I'm telling you.
What if somebody's like, okay, all right. And then their next thought is like, oh, but I'm scared to do the work. Like, what is the work? Like, is that scary? Is it daunting? Like, what would you say to that?
I would say that that's totally valid because you don't know, right? Like, being scared is a very normal, natural way to feel when you are like looking off a cliff, right? Or on the precipice of something and you don't know what's there. And you can be scared and still take steps to move forward. You know, you can make a choice that doesn't have to stop you. And you will feel so supported in this container that fear will be very short-lived. That's another really beautiful thing about this program, that everybody's a little bit scared. Even if you're excited, you can be a little bit excited and also scared or apprehensive. And so quickly, once you join and become part of the group, that feels very validated and shared and dissipates very quickly and morphs into just excitement and engagement. Really, please don't let that stop you from doing this, because gosh, it's such a shame if that would be why you don't do something, because you're scared. It's just, it will evaporate so quickly. It will shift so quickly for you. And you have so much, even if you are scared while doing it, like heavy things come up totally. Like, we're really like reflecting on ourselves and holding mirrors up and mining our brains and pulling out all the dirty, dark stuff that we don't want to think about. But we do that surrounded by love and support and curiosity, and it's not shaming. You know, it's a very safe place to do that work and be with other women who so get it. I think that's what's so powerful too, right? Like, where do we get to be with other women who know pretty much exactly what we're going through, have like walked in our shoes in a lot of ways, all like are struggling with the same things, I mean, that's a whole other podcast we could talk about, right? Like just the women and the group and the sisterhood. You almost want to share. You want to like bring out that stuff because you just like want to feel that love and support and validation.
Yeah.
It actually feels good. Something that historically, probably for many of us, has felt very shameful and isolating and lonely. It weirdly starts to feel good to share it because you get that support, you get that validation, you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
So it shifts very quickly.
Yeah, there's so much healing in that.
So much healing.
It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I could literally talk to you forever. I told her that we're going to end, and now we're just not ending. So let yourselves, you guys, be inspired by Sarah's story and her words, because like we're all the same. Like we really, truly are. And if she can have it, if I can have it, you can have it too. So I highly encourage you guys to go to lauraconley.com/lose, LOSE, and book a call and snag your spot for the January cohort so that this can be the year that you get it done. Like just imagine you'll be telling these same exact stories in just a couple months and this time next year. It'll be so, so cool. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Sarah. This is so awesome. Any last thoughts that you need to share before we end?
Oh my gosh, just that this is such a gift that you can give to yourself. And if you are like 50% there, 60% there, 70% there, do what you need to do to get the rest of the percent. Like honestly, I'm really serious. Any of you can reach out to me to talk about YMX and to hear my experience. Like if you want to just talk it through with somebody or hear more details, I'm 100% open to that. I've had this conversation with a lot of women. So like, if you just feel like you need to know somebody and talk to someone, like feel free. I'm happy to talk about this.
So generous
as well. Yeah.
That's so
just
sweet.
do it.
Yeah, do it. Go stalk her Instagram. Be like, are you sure? Is that really true what you said on the podcast? Is Laura paying?
Yes. No.
Okay, thank you so much. You were the absolute best. I love you so much, Sarah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.